Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Shell Crafters. Today our demonstration is going to be on making a straw coin purse. This is what our end product should be looking like at the end of the class. Now, due to the time limits that we have prepared everything in steps and stages. But for the beginning, I'm going to go over all the things that we need for the class. This here is chipboard. You can find this at Shell Crafters. I'm going to use this as the template. Our coin purse is going to be 4.5 inches wide by an overall 4 inches high. Now, I've cut a chipboard which is 10.5 inches by 4.5 inches. For the body of the coin purse, we are going to use a medium weight sew-on Pellon. Now, we're using this soft Pellon so that it adds body to the straw and it still gives it a soft flexibility, so you have space to put things in your coin purse. Okay, I've divided this into 3 sections and I've made markings on one side. What I'm about to do now is take a piece of plait and show you how you can stitch your plait onto this Pellon. And remember, you can get all of these supplies here at Shell Crafters. So we're just stitching our straw on. Now what you do is, once you've selected your straw, you've covered it with covered your Pellon with your straw. The next step then, through the magic of television, we've done this one. So you should end up with the basis of your coin purse. And these are the markings where we put for fold lines for the coin purse. Now, once you've added your straw, the next thing is you add your lining. And in this coin purse, we've used Androsia print. Now, once you've stitched all around, added your lining in, the next thing then would be to add your snaps. Snaps can also be found here at Shell Crafters. Now, once you've placed your snaps in, always remember to make your markings. You close your coin purse and you make your markings for where your snap goes in, and you always do a test to make sure that everything is lined up before you add your binding. So the next stage is then going to be adding our binding. Now, for those of you that don't know, binding is a smaller version of the plait that you can finish off your plait with. And Shell Crafters has supplies for bindings also. Another type, if you don't want to use the straw binding, you can also use the webbing, which is also found here at Shell Crafters. So once we stitch our binding all around our coin purse and we finish it off, we can either use straw once again for the key ring to be hooked on, or we can use webbing. In this instance, I've used 3/4 of an inch webbing and added my key ring. The next stage from here would be for me to go along my fold lines, make sure that everything's lined up, and then I would be ready to move on to hand stitching my coin purse. Now, for some people, based on the weight of their sewing machines, they can stitch the close up the coin purse on the sewing machine. If you don't have an industrial sewing machine, then you would have to then hand sew it. I've already begun to hand stitch this particular purse. So this side has already been stitched in. And I've begun this side. Now for the hand stitching, it's not very difficult. We're using a monofilament sewing line, and you can find that here also at Shell Crafters. And it's just a basic in and out stitch. As you go along, you pull your stitches tight as you can, but not too tight to pop your line. And you try to keep it as neat as possible. Try to stay in a straight line. Now, like I said, if your sewing machine is able to do this, then you don't have to do the hand stitching. But if not, this is the way that you would close up your coin purse.
Does it matter what kind of straw flat you use for the coin purse?
No, you can use any type straw that you want. You pick your design. As you can see, we use several different designs straws so that we can have a variety. This particular coin purse has a Jacob's ladder on it, along with a 15 string, plait. Okay, so we're coming to the end now, and when we're closing this up, we always double bank back on our stitch so that we can secure the edge. What I normally like to do is push my needle in between the two pieces of straw. I come up, pull tightly, open the coin purse, find the middle of two stitches, go back through it, do that once again, then back in, and then what I like to do once I cut this off, is that we create a little knot, wrapping around several times, and then knotting to the inside of the purse. Hope you can see this. And then just cut off the excess thread. I will go over the steps once again for those who are just joining, or in case you want to revisit the steps. And there you have it. There's our coin purse. Okay, so once again, we're gonna go over the steps. We're starting off with our chipboard, and this is going to be our template. You cut this to the size, any size that you want your coin purse to be. Once you've already created this template, you could use this over and over again, depending on the size that you're using at the time. Now for this demonstration, I've only done square edges, but what you can also do is you can create on your template curved edges, and all it takes is you just taking a can, or if you have a compass, but anything with a round edge, you can make a curve. If you decide that you want a peak, you just measure from the middle down how far down you want your peak, and you can have a peak for the front. So you can create any kind of style just from using your templates. Now once you've cut out your template, you're gonna go and use this template on your medium weight pellon. And on this medium weight pellon, let's come over to the table here. You draw around your template. And then you cut this out. Now, because I said that I wanted my coin purse to be 4 inches high, from this edge I'm measuring 3.5 inches, which is going to be the front fold. So you make your markings. Make your markings. And then the middle section, it's going to be 4 inches. You make your markings here. Now what you do is you join these two lines, because this is going to be the guideline for where you fold your coin purse. Now once you've done this, you grab your scissors, you cut it out. Let's do that quickly. Now the reason you're using this medium weight pellon once again is because it's going to give body to your coin purse. There you have it. Once it's cut out, then like we did earlier on, we come to the sewing machine. And you can choose any style of plait that you want, whatever you like. You can choose whatever you like. And here at Shell Crafters, we have a wide variety of straw to choose from. And then you just proceed to stitch your straw down onto your medium weight pellon. Okay. Once that's stitched down, we then end up with this. Now see, for this we use a 15 string along with what they call, I think they call this one Bahama Mama from my memory. So you can use a wide variety. For this one we just used the regular plain straw and 15 string. Now from this stage to this stage we added the lining and snaps. When you put your snaps in, always make sure that they line up before you move on to binding your coin purse. After that stage, then we bind the coin purse. And you can use straw binding or you can use webbing. And at this stage, we add in the hook for the keychain. We're using a 3/4 inch brown webbing here. You can also use straw, as we did in this one. We made the hook from straw. So once you move on from that stage, then we went on to the stage where we hand stitch the coin purse together. Now, for those of you who have an industrial sewing machine, you can stitch this with your sewing machine, but if not, I would advise that you hand stitch it.
How do you stitch the webbing and the binding?
Okay. we fold our webbing into two, and we just put it along the existing stitch line that was already there from the binding, and you just make sure you line it up as close as possible and you stitch over it. And I would advise that you go back over it you do 2 runs of stitches on it just to make sure that it's secure.
Same with the binding along the sides of the straw.
For adding your binding?
Yes.
Yes. When you add your binding, you're going to what I normally do is I give my binding a little bend in the middle just so I can prep it. And then what I do is I fold over the ends as neatly as possible. Fold it in. Start from the outside of the coin purse, and then we stitch along the edges. Okay, so once you've done this stitch, you make a 90-degree turn, and then you stitch straight along.
Somebody is asking, can you sew a character on the straw with the pellet?
I'm not sure I get that. With the pellon itself?
Probably with the pellon attached to the straw. Can the needle or what? Can you sew through the pellon onto the straw?
Yes, you can sew.
Yeah,
It's soft. It's soft enough that you can do that. So if at this stage you want to do some hand design, you can do that. If you want to sew a character on, I know a couple of weeks ago we had somebody doing demonstrations with Raphael. You can also do that on top of the coin purse. So, but I would advise that at this stage you do that before you add your lining.
Miss Bryce is asking if you can show her how to add the snaps.
Okay, do we have enough time for that? Do we? Okay. Now what I'm going to do then is, because I've already put it in this, I'm just going to use a piece of fabric to show how we do it. Actually, I can use this. Okay, let's go with the understanding that this already has straw on it, okay? What I do is I make sure, measure, and find the center of my piece. Now this piece is 4.5 inches wide, so I know that I need to find 2 1/4, which is right about here. So I know that's the center of my coin purse. At this stage, okay. You would then turn to the inside of your coin purse, which will be the inside as it's done here. Make your markings for your snap. I normally make 2 little lines right here in the snap. Use this as a template. And a tool here. Okay, with a seam ripper or an X-Acto knife, but be very careful because you're doing this on your fabric. You make 2 little slits. Then you take your snap. You push your snap in. Then you take the back of your snap, put it on, and then you can use a tool and you push one side in, put the next side in. That will be the top part. And when you're coming down to do the outside, which is this portion here for the snap, what I like to do is come over, lay everything nice and flat, and then raise it up a bit so you can see where the center is, and just make one little mark so that we know that would snap right onto that portion of the snap. And do the same thing again using the template of the back of the snap. Make your little line. Make your slits to receive the snap. Put it in. Put the back of the snap on. And there you have it. Your snap would be set in. And that is how you put in your snap.
And that's onto the fabric.
But that would be onto the fabric. So one part goes onto the fabric, and then the next part goes on the face of the straw.
So the snaps are already on the fabric when you sew it onto the straw.
No, you sew your fabric in first, and then you always leave an opening at the top and at the bottom. So when you put your snaps in, you make your markings. You just slip you have enough room in here to slip your snaps in. Push your fingers in to put on the backs of your snaps. Okay? And the same thing here. And I always advise that you place the top snap in first before you put in the bottom snap. Okay? Any other questions we have?
If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask. Hey, Christelle, welcome back. Christelle is joining us all the way from Turks.
Hi, Christelle.
Christelle, the borders are open. You can come back home, I think.
Okay. So we don't have any questions. If you want to add some embellishment to your coin purse, we have lots of shells here at Shell Crafters, hence our name. What I'm going to be using to glue this shell on is some E6000 glue. So we're just going to add some glue to the back of this shell. And this, we're going to place it on the center, press down a bit. Now if you want to go wild, you can add as much shells as you like, but that's just a little finishing touch for today. And of course we have our key ring on here.
We do have key rings in stock.
Yes, we do. And there's no limit to your imagination with your coin purses.
Nicely done. If you guys have any questions,
Please let me know.
feel free to ask. Do you all do private classes? Yes, we do, as soon as this social distancing is kind of over, but as soon as we do start our classes, we always send an update. Just in case you need, if you're like me, you always need a one-on-one with hands-on stuff like this. So not to worry, this is just a quick crash course on how to do it. And you can, even if you're already used to a sewing machine, I'm sure you can put this together or make an attempt to. And of course, like always, we will be giving away one of these coin purses. So ask a question, Miss Van John, and the first person to comment will receive the coin purse. But Miss Bryce is asking, how do you harden the E6000? I know it takes a couple hours to dry.
Yes, it needs to set. It's gonna take a while to set. Normally it's cured in 24 hours. It's fully cured based on the instructions of it, but I prefer to use the E6000 rather than the hot glue, because after time you'd find that the hot glue pieces will drop off, and then a coin purse is something that's going to be used quite frequently and handled quite roughly sometimes.
Yeah. You guys have any more questions? Stitch lining on before putting on snaps. Juanita wants to know.
Yes, Juanita. I advise that you stitch your lining on after this stage here. You would stitch your lining on, and then you would end up to this stage here. Just pretend that there's no snap here at the moment, but you would end up with this stage here. Then, like I mentioned before, leave the top open and leave the bottom open when you stitch your lining on. You need it open so that you can push your fingers through to add the snaps. Once this is open, you push your fingers through, you slip your snaps into the fabric. And then you come down, you make your mark for the second part of the snap. You slip your fingers through, push your snap in, and once everything is secured, then you come and you stitch your top and your bottom pieces of your coin purse before you add your binding. Do you have any other questions?
Can you unharden a tube of E6? Is that what you're asking, Miss Bryce?
I doubt you can unharden E6000.
No.
Once that has set, it has set.
Just make sure to always cover your tube
yes,
when you're not using it, because they do dry quickly.
What I like to do is keep it in a Ziploc bag also, to keep as much air away from it as possible.
Good idea. Okay. Does anybody else have any more questions before we close out our session for this afternoon? And thank you again so much, Van John, for joining us.
It was my pleasure. I wish we had more time. Next time.
But you can, we're giving away the coin purse today, so Miss Van John is going to ask you something relative to what she spoke about today. And first person to comment in this live will receive this coin purse. I know if you're anything like me, you always got 10 cents and quarters jingling in your car or your bag, and when you pull up to the counter you can't find it, this coin purse is going to come in handy. And you can also, if you win it, use it as an example to practice if you plan on sewing. So Swan John, you got your question?
Okay, I have the question ready. Do you put your snaps in before or after your lining? First person to answer and get it correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
we have a winner? Do we have a winner?
Do you put your snaps on
Before or after your lining?
Felice Williams says before the lining. Is that correct?
No, that's incorrect.
Sorry, Felice. So, we throw out another question. Another question.
The next question?
Yes.
Let me think. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be this. Let me think. Okay. What is the piece of fabric called that we used in the beginning to give body to the coin purse?
What is this white fabric called used to give body to the coin purse? First question in the comment section. Miss. Okay, Felice won it today. She says Pelon.
Right. And she's absolutely correct.
Miss Laurel, I did not see your answer first. I'm sorry. She did answer after. So
Okay.
if we can give away.
Okay, we
The
can
both
give
of
away the both of them.
So Miss
So
Laurel,
Miss Laurel
Bartlett,
gets one, and Felice.
Miss Felice, yes,
Okay.
you get them. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
Our winners today.
I jealous. I don't have a straw coin purse. But thank you again, Miss Van John, for tuning in.
My pleasure.
You will be seeing her again. Enjoy your day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.